Hello fellow naturalists, iNaturalist here, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to upload an observation to iNaturalist. This guide will be for beginners, but even if you aren't a beginner, you still might learn something, so let's get right into it. Well, to start, you'll click the plus symbol at the bottom right hand part of the screen, so let's do that. And here you'll have 5 options. First, no media. Well, that means you'd be uploading an observation without any pictures or sound. It's kind of strange, right? I wouldn't. You can, but if right, pick or it didn't happen, right? You can, but why? Um, Next up, we have take photo or record sound, which means you would do the take photo one. You click on it, take a picture, and then upload it. Not great, man. If you take a bad picture, you just have to go back and forth. It's not the best, right? It's better to take the pictures on your phone and then upload them later. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like a big mess. And typically, you're gonna want more than one picture. And it'd be a lot faster to just take them on your phone and then upload them later. Same thing with record sound. Plenty of sound recording apps on the App Store. So that's what I would do for that. So, next we have choose image or choose sound, which we'll be using. Choose sound. Lots of things to record sound for, especially like cicadas, they're quite noisy. And crickets, a lot of insects to record sound for. A lot of you guys will probably be uploading sound from birds, lots of birds make calls. And even if you don't have a good enough camera to photograph the birds, you can still record their sound, right? Which is always cool to do. And choose image is what we're going to be using. So mostly when you go to the screen, you'll mostly be doing choose image unless you have a sound to add as well. The thing though is that, as you can see, there's no choose video. You can't upload videos to iNaturalist. Just the way it is. However, if you want a video to go along with your observation, upload it to YouTube, and then put the link to that YouTube thing in your notes, so people can look at it. I've seen it happen sometimes, which is kind of cool. Because, if something's moving really fast, it can be hard to identify with a picture, but a video can be kind of cool, So let's click choose image, and we'll do that. Alrighty, so you'll be taken here. As you can see, these are all my recent images, but none of them are plants or insects that I want to upload. From here, we can click gallery right on the screen right there. And if you have Google Drive installed, you'll be able to click on your Google Drive as well, in case you have your images there. Scroll to the side. Basically, wherever you have your images, click there. Or, if you don't see the app that you want to take your images from, click the top left hand screen, top left corner of your screen, and there you go. Scroll down and figure out whatever app you have your images in. Most likely you'll have it in your gallery. You would also have your Google Drive on here as well. I uninstalled it because it would show my emails, and well, I kind of don't need you guys, signing me up for, newsletters and stuff, so let's go to our gallery. As you can see, most of your images will probably be in your camera, but you might have some in your downloads if you download them, or in your screenshots, because you might want to zoom in closer on an image, and it might end up in your screenshots. All right, so we're going to start off and right where we left off, and that'll leave us with, well, I'm going to skip the dusky sap beetle for now, and we're just going to go with the picnic beetle. Those are 2 images I took right there. And we're going to add this one, which is a screenshot that I put in the camera folder, just to be funny. Alright, let's add those. As you can see, they are all added, but I want to change the order, so I'm going to click on the one that's right here. Click on the top right and make first. Now it's first, which is nice. So, now that you've uploaded your images, what do you do next? Well, as you can see here, These images have a date, a time, and a location. If you take the pictures on your phone and upload them directly from there, your images should come with the date and time and location already with them. If an older phone, it might not though. If you download them from somewhere else, it might not come with that. You take the pictures of Snapchat and export the pictures out, it won't come with the time, location, and date with it, so you'll have to add those manually if it doesn't come with it. But yeah, like when you're making an observation, you have to have a date, a time, and a location. Otherwise, it'll be a casual grade photograph. So obviously, the location and the date and the time are all necessary a lot of the time with observations, to be able to identify it, If you don't know where the picture came from, you know, that's a big, that's like big problem, Not only in helping to identify things, but also for the purpose of this app. Because iNaturalist is a place, for people to upload wild organisms, and it kind of puts them in a database, and it kind of shows where they're found and stuff. It's pretty cool, right? So, but, if you take a picture at your house, you might not want the exact location to be on there. As you can see, literally, that's like super accurate. So we can click on here, you know, and if I want it to be more vague, I could type in Cedar Rapids, choose that. We could choose Iowa, if I want to be more vague. You can be basically as vague as you want, although I probably wouldn't go more vague than the state level. But if the location is your house, definitely change it, So there's that. Location visibility, open, obscured, or private. Well, if you don't want your location that you found something at to be listed, you can click obscured. It'll put a location near your location, but it won't be your exact location, If you photograph something that's endangered, iNaturalist will make it obscured by default. That way, people can't go and harm this endangered creature if they were to, which they wouldn't. People that use iNaturalist, they do it because they like it, In private, the location will be private. Obviously, if your location is private, though, your observation cannot be research grade because the people won't be able to see where you photographed it at, right? But if you want to choose that option, you can. Next up, we have is it captive or cultivated? Well, a captive animal, right? It could be a pet, something at a zoo, something that is only living there because of humans, right? Like your pet dogs, like anything that's a pet, is going to be captive. Cultivated is any plant that was directly planted by humans, right? If you planted the tree in your front yard, that's cultivated. If you plant growing something in your backyard, that's cultivated. If it's a potted plant in your house, it's cultivated. The thing here is that like the point of iNaturalist is to upload wild organisms. So if you have something that's captive or cultivated, it doesn't belong in iNaturalist. However, if you're like in a class, hey, I was there once. If you're in a class where you're required to upload stuff to iNaturalist, maybe it ends up being cultivated, like a tree, right? Sure, go ahead, but if someone flags it as cultivated, don't be surprised. I've had that happen before. I don't do it because obviously it's just weird too, right? But people will do it. So be careful. If you're in a class and you need it to be research grade. So there's that. Add to projects. As you can see, I have 2 projects here. However, you don't need to do this because if you have an observation that meets the qualifications to be added to one of these projects, It'll be automatically added to the project anyway, so you don't really need to do that. Okay, and let's go. If those out of the way, let's go to the most important part. What did you see? Um, the computer, this app, will be able to, just by looking at whatever you found, will be able to give you a good idea of what it is. It's actually insanely accurate, so most of the time it can get it dead on, If you find something that's unique and you have a decent quality picture, it'll get it pretty much most of the time. We'll get more to that later, you know. As you can see here, I purposely made my most zoomed in picture first because it looks better. And as you can tell, that's just a zoomed in picture of this, which is nice. As you can see, it's the picnic beetle. I already knew that. And, well, it's nice to have a zoomed in picture for identifying something like an insect. It's also good to have a more of a zoomed out picture to show where we found it. As you can see, we found it on a pumpkin that was kind of smooshed. I don't know what they were doing, but they smashed a pumpkin. And, it's nice. As you can see here, we can actually edit the picture, so let's do that. Not much for editing, rotating, scale, brightness, and contrast. I typically like to leave pictures in their original, color and stuff, but let's rotate it 3 times, and there we go. I view pictures on my phone most of the time. I used to actually be like a computer. I preferred to upload them on my computer in the past, but that's just not necessary typically. Just upload them on your phone, a lot easier. The computer has its own nice too actually, but I kind of got used to using it on my computer, using it on my phone, Alrighty, flip those, which are nice. And last but not least, let's give a description. Well, in our notes, typically I like to describe where I found it and any other details. Well, we found it on a smashed pumpkin at the Rock Island Botanical Preserve, so let's just say that. There we go. Put a period, there we go. Found this picnic beetle at the Rock Island Botanical Preserve. And add that extra detail of the smashed pumpkin. And that's a pretty good description of what this is. I found this picnic beetle on a smashed pumpkin at the Rock Island Botanical Preserve. That place was pretty cool, so if you live in Cedar Rapids, make sure to check it out. And alrighty. Everything looks good, and actually, as a bonus thing, like, see this little camera thing at the top? If you want to add an extra image, you can. Take photo, choose image, record sound, choose sound. You can add more in case you didn't get it all on the first time. Or if you want to add a sound and an image in the same thing, you can. You can add both of this on an observation, and actually, the more the merrier, right? Alright, let's get that uploaded. Nice. And actually, on the next one, I'll show you what it looks like to add an extra image later on. It can take a little bit to upload it, but things take time. I mean, you don't have to wait for it, but Alrighty, let's go to the next one. This one's a little bit more interesting. I know what it is, but does the iNaturalist know what it is? Alrighty. Here we have, see the smashed pumpkin? There's my feet. Nice, nice. Some dusky sap beetles. So let's upload these. There we go, 7 pictures. There we go. I want to add an extra picture, so I'll show you how you guys do that. Just go over, and there we go. We added another picture. This is the most zoomed in picture, so I'm gonna make it the first one. All right, let's see what we got here, boys. That's interesting. The thing with iNaturalist is that it's really good at identifying most things. However, not all insects or plants or organisms in general have been added to the computer vision model, right? So, if something isn't in the computer vision model, it won't pop up as a recommended thing, no matter how good your picture is, right? Like when I first found this insect in the past, right, I thought it might have been a four-spotted sap beetle without any spots, but I saw a whole bunch of these, right? And this beetle's in its adult stage, so I was like, why doesn't it have any spots? I didn't know, right? So I looked like to the bottom of the earth to find this, but I found out that it was a dusky sap beetle. And the big problem is that since these aren't in the computer vision model, their upload rates are a lot lower than four-spotted sap beetles and picnic beetles, even though they're all just as common to find as the other one, at least around here. So keep that in mind. If you have a good picture, but it's not being recommended, might be because it's not in the computer vision model. That's alright though. Just keep that in mind. So we'll pick that, and there we go. As you can see, there was a whole bunch of them on that pumpkin. Ooh, accidentally, as you can see here, I accidentally added those pictures of the picnic beetle. No problem, we can delete them just like that. Yep, it's always a good idea just to double check through all your pictures to make sure you didn't add anything that you didn't want added. There we go. Just add a similar description. Obviously, when I'm mass posting these, I'll usually just copy and paste in. I found this blank at the Rock Island Botanical Preserve, But for the sake of this video, why not? I found these dusky sap beetles on a smashed pumpkin at the Rock Island Botanical Preserve. Sounds good. Alright, everything looks good, so let's submit it. Alrighty, let's go to the next one. Next one is interesting though. We're gonna go for a plant. I don't know what it is yet, so we'll be in this one together, shall we, boys? Next we have this plant. There's a hickory plant, but we're gonna go for this one, right? Upload a picture of its leaves, fruits, stem, and then landscape picture of it. Looks good. I usually put the picture of the full landscape of it last, but you can do it whichever order you like. All right, let's see what it is. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. It appears to think it's in the genus Agramonia. As you can see here, there's the Include Suggestions Not Seen Nearby tab, so let's click that. As you can see here, there's quite a few Agramony species. This is where you have to do some of your own research, or we could just leave it at the genus Agramonia, right? On iNaturalist, it's best to be as accurate as you can without being wrong, right? I could pick Swamp Agramonia. I mean, Swamp Agramony, but is it the right one? I don't know. The thing is, only view suggestions nearby is pretty useful. However, sometimes you'll find something that hasn't been photographed there yet, and obviously it might not show up. And yes, I have that can happen. I have photographed. I've been the first person to photograph several things, in Iowa. So it can happen if you're out long enough. So let's look at it. Tansy. That is not tansy. Not even close. Sensitive fern. The thing is, this clearly isn't a fern because it's making fruit, right? So if I did at the time, if it's a fern, you're gonna want to photograph the bottom of the leaves to photograph the spores, and also on bulblet ferns, there's a little bulblet at the bottom of the leaves, so that's important to photograph. In another video, I'll make a more detailed, description, like a more advanced guide, because for certain plants and animals, you want to make sure to photograph special things that you might not even think of or know to do beforehand. Like when identifying ash trees, you'll want to photograph the leaf scar for identification, For this plant, none of these three suggestions make any sense. Hemp, this isn't hemp. So let's go to these ones. Swamp agrimony. Let's look at that. That flower looks pretty similar. That it could definitely be this. I really don't know what agrimony is. I've never heard of that. As you can see, now we're in the research stage. The first two insects I knew right away, but this one I don't know. So let's look into it, boys. Right here, an important thing to do is to click on the map of observations, and see, if it's found near you. I'm not going to click on it because it's going to show my exact location, which isn't, ideal, right? I live in Cedar Rapids, but I don't need my house being shown on there, right? So we're not going to click on that, but we're going to click on more info on iNaturalist, and we're going to look at it, And also, you can do research on other sites. One thing that could really be improved for a naturalist is making a step-by-step identification guide for each plant and animal, but I don't think that'll be done. However, those exist online, they're called keys. If you're out in the field, a key can be quite useful, but there's plenty of websites out there, and most everything will have its identification, how to identify it on a website. I'm not going to do that now, though, because I don't want to, leave this app. So, just for the sake of it, I'm going to come here and look into Iowa and see if these are found in Iowa. Oop, click on it. There we go. There have been 7 swamp agrimonies found in Iowa. Okay. So they do exist here. Interesting. Like, it's not ideal, right? If I'd be using I'd prefer to use the map feature to see how close I am, because obviously Iowa's still a big state, right? Let's look at downy agrimony. One. Obviously, don't let the fact that there's been one observed in Iowa hold you back from picking it. Another interesting thing you can do is click on agrimonies, go to observations, and see how many plants of this genus have been posted in Iowa, right? There have been 5 species of agrimonies photographed. Because I think it's pretty clear that this is in the agrimony genus, right? As you can see here, tall hairy agrimony is actually the most common one. Let's look at that plant. The thing here is that at the current moment, I don't know which one of these it is. And obviously, just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to research, because I don't know which one it is. However, at the moment, right, obviously if I did enough research, I could probably figure it out, because I think we took enough photographs to get it down to species. Maybe not, though. However, like I said, be as accurate as you can without being wrong. So we're going to pick the genus Agramonia. I think that's accurate. Alright, so what did we photograph? We photographed the leaves, yep, the fruits, the seeds. Alright, the stem. You can see there's quite a bit of pubescence on there. And a landscape picture. A problem I've seen people do, like a newbie mistake, is just upload a picture like this. This is their whole observation, just one super zoomed out picture, The thing is when you're photographing animals, like insects, typically you want to just get as good as you can before it flies away, right? Which is okay, but with plants aren't going anywhere, right? So photograph as much as you possibly can. And honestly, I could have done even more than what I did for this plant, right? Like, bare minimum, get the stem, get the leaves, and get the fruits, Bare minimum, but obviously there's more things you need to look out for. Obviously, if you're seeing a plant for the first time, right? I had no idea what this was, Photograph as much as you can, and if you miss something important, then you can come back the next time and get that photograph and get it as most accurate as you can, Obviously, do as best as you can with the picture with the camera that you have, but just don't take one picture and be satisfied with that, because just one picture zoomed out like this, not acceptable, Alrighty. Well, I'm satisfied with this. Oop, that's such a weird word. Let's just leave it at plant, shall we? There we go. That looks good. Will someone, like, someone out there, there's a good chance will identify this to its species level, There are experts on iNaturalist, and if there's a lot of people that enjoy identifying for other people, like have hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of identifications, There's a lot of people on iNaturalist that will help you identify things. Some things more than others, So just leave it at genus, leave it at order level, or even just leave it at plant, It's okay. Alrighty, let's upload this. There we go. Well, I've shown three examples of uploading an observation to iNaturalist, That's good enough for now. In the future, I'll make another video with more details, because obviously there's a lot more to iNaturalist than just this, Anyways, keep photographing things, fellow naturalists, and I'll see you guys in the next video.